5. 1995 Ford Mustang GT 5.0. The 1995 Ford Mustang GT marked the final chapter of Ford's legendary 5.0 era, and it went out with a reputation that was both iconic and dangerous. On the surface, it looked like a clean, rounded SN95 pony car. But the moment the throttle opened, the GT revealed why the 5.0 became feared on American streets. It didn't surge, it hit, and sometimes harder than the chassis or driver could handle. Its 5-liter V8 produced around 215 horsepower and 285 pound-feet of torque. It reached 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 6.7 seconds, and top speed was around 140 miles per hour. Not overwhelming numbers today, but the danger came from how instantly the torque arrived. A sudden punch that could light up the rear tires without warning. Ford improved the chassis over the previous Fox body, but the SN95 still had one major flaw. The rear end loved to break loose. Combine that with no traction control, lightweight rear suspension components, and inexperienced drivers thinking it's only 215 horsepower, and the GT became a tail-happy menace. Rain made it even worse. Countless owners found themselves sideways at speeds they thought were safe. And then there was the attitude. The GT's exhaust note, low-end torque, and aggressive gearing tempted drivers into pushing harder than they should. The car felt faster than the numbers suggested, pulling strong out of corners, but snapping violently if you lifted or got nervous mid-turn. Many crashes from the era weren't caused by speed. They were caused by sudden torque and overconfidence. Today, the 1995 Mustang GT stands as a deceptively dangerous muscle car, one that didn't need high horsepower to scare drivers. It did it with torque, unpredictability, and a final dose of raw 5.0 heritage that demanded respect every time the key turned. If you've made it this far, you're one of the real ones. Hit like and subscribe, because the last few cars aren't just dangerous. They're the reason this list even exists. 4. 1999 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP Supercharged. The 1999 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP didn't look like a muscle car at first glance. It looked like a clean, respectable family sedan. But the moment you spotted the tiny supercharged badge on the trunk, you knew something wasn't normal. This was the kind of 90s sleeper that didn't need loud exhausts or wide tires to be dangerous. It hid its power under a business suit, and that made it even more unpredictable. Its 3.8-liter supercharged V6 produced 240 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. It reached 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 6.6 seconds, and top speed was around 143 miles per hour. Those numbers were serious for a front-wheel drive sedan of its era, especially one tuned to shove instant torque through the front wheels with very little control. And that's where the danger began. The GTP delivered boost early, violently, and without mercy. Drivers who floored it often found the steering wheel fighting back with torque steer so strong it could rip the car toward another lane. The front tires screamed for grip, the supercharger whined like an angry turbine, and the steering response changed the moment boost hit. Many owners weren't prepared for how quickly the car transformed from calm commuter to traction nightmare. The chassis wasn't designed for this kind of power. Body roll was real, understeer arrived instantly if pushed too hard, and the brakes struggled under repeated high-speed use. Insurance companies flagged it, and police departments admitted that inexperienced drivers often lost control during sudden acceleration. Today, the 1999 Grand Prix GTP remains one of the most deceptive 90s performers, a front-wheel drive torque monster disguised as a grocery getter. It was the kind of sleeper that didn't just surprise you, it scared you when the boost hit early and hard. 3. 1993 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. The 1993 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 wasn't just a faster Corvette, it was a machine that rewrote what American performance could be. Nicknamed the King of the Hill, it earned that title not through marketing hype, but through raw engineering that made even professional drivers nervous. The ZR1 didn't build speed gently, it attacked it. Its 5.7-liter DOHC LT 5V8 produced 405 horsepower and 385 pound-feet of torque. It reached 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 4.5 seconds, and top speed was around 180 miles per hour. For 1993, these numbers weren't just impressive, they were terrifying. The ZR1 accelerated with relentless force, pushing deep into speeds that few drivers of the era had ever experienced. What made the ZR1 dangerous wasn't just power, it was the way the car delivered it. The LT5 loved to rev, and once it climbed past 4,000 RPM, it unleashed a second wind that caught many drivers off guard. This sudden surge often pushed the car beyond the limits of its tires, especially in inexperienced hands. Combine that with 90s traction technology and the Corvette's lightweight rear end, and the ZR1 became a high-speed handful. The chassis was capable, but brutally honest. It demanded precision. Enter a corner too hot, lift off at the wrong moment, or underestimate how quickly the car gained speed, and the ZR1 could snap loose before you realize what happened. Police and insurance reports from the era show a high number of loss of control incidents from drivers who simply weren't ready for a 180-mile-per-hour supercar sold in American showrooms. Today, the 1993 ZR1 remains one of the most dangerous Corvettes ever built. A car whose performance belonged on a racetrack, not in the hands of weekend warriors. It wasn't just fast, it was too fast for its time, and that's exactly what made it legendary.